Hello and welcome to Hypnosis Authority here in Brisbane. In these difficult times, have a look at things from a different point of view. And with the fear it seems to be appearing to surround the world at the present time, another view, it's a spiritual view, not normally what we do on our channel here, but nevertheless, it seems to be an important message, and so that's why it's included today. It's a different way to look at fear, and maybe it gives you some peace and relaxation on this channel on Hypnosis Authority. So thank you, enjoy.
Hello everyone, happy Sunday, I love you, and I'm sending you a very big virtual hug wherever you are on this amazing, vibrating, breathing, alive earth plane that we're standing on. So I have a message, and I feel like I rarely say this, but I really deeply believe that this is an extremely important message to really let sink in. So the first part of this message is, and I want you to hold this throughout the message, if you knew 1000% beyond a shadow of a doubt that we get through this intense shift and that we will find ourselves standing, being, living, breathing in higher states of consciousness, how would you respond in your now moment? And I want you to let that sink in for a moment. Because as a way shower, which you are, beyond all of the other things that you're currently doing right now to navigate this insane shift in consciousness, by far, one of the most potent and powerful things that you can do is to hold that knowingness. Because when you hold that knowingness, you are allowing the vibration of that knowingness to emanate out from you. So that regardless of what anyone tells you, what any teacher tells you, what any news media tells you, what any post tells you, what any YouTube channel tells you, you are always holding that higher timeline, which is this statement. If you knew that unequivocally, without a doubt, 1000%, you get through this and we find ourselves standing, being, breathing, and living in 5D consciousness, how would you respond in your now? Let me show you a little diagram that I drew. There are massive amounts of fear agendas and fear narratives and fear programs that are going to be thrown at you over and over and over again right now. And if you focus on them and believe them to be the only truth, then you are forgetting the very first statement I just told you. You are believing the older paradigm that we're in right now, a past now moment that we actually get through. So you're believing a past even though it's in your now. And it's a future now that they're creating fear around that may never happen. Here's what I want you to visualize and see as you start, perhaps some of you, digesting fear narratives. Fear narratives can be mandated vaccines, more 5G towers that are going to kill you. There's going to be some sort of massive solar flare that's going to pull people into a 5D consciousness, and all those that aren't ready are going to die, and you better prepare your body, and you better not have metal in your body. There's going to be civil unrest, civil war, all kinds of like really crazy, massive amounts of fear agendas and storylines. Okay, so here's what I want to remind you as you are navigating these fear narratives. I've got a diagram, okay? This is the collective consciousness and the timeline that we're walking down right now, okay? And these are all of the future now fear narratives that are being given to us. Are they true? Yep. How do we know they're true? Because they're on this timeline. So people that are tapping into this frequency of this timeline that the collective's on right now, they're going to tap into a future now moment that's full of fear. Anything that you want to tap into that's fear-based on this timeline. At the exact same now, so yes, these are and have the ability to unravel and become our reality, 1000%. At the exact same time that this is happening, this is where the collective is on an energetic level right now. The collective consciousness is vibrating right here. There is also a timeline that's in a higher state of consciousness, 5D consciousness, that a lot of us are tapping into. We're going back and forth, right? Many of us are standing here, right? Many of us are standing here. This exists at the same time. This is the quantum field. Here's what happens. All the billions of humans are walking here, and they're holding different frequencies. As more of us wake up, and not only wake up, but understand what's happening, and we start to hold higher frequencies in our body, and we start to hold this notion and this knowingness that we get through this, that this is not the only reality, that there is an absolute other reality that I can shift myself and the collective onto if I hold it as a knowingness. I'm going to say that again. If you hold this timeline where these things don't exist as a knowingness, we have the ability to start to shift the collective to this timeline. That's what we're doing. But it takes millions of us to hold this timeline and not the fear narratives that the humans are telling us are going to happen. And what starts to happen is as we get closer and closer and closer to these narratives, December 7th, December 21st, October 18th, whatever dates, right? Doesn't matter. As the human starts to get closer and closer and more of us wake up and more of us start to choose to hold this timeline, which is that we're safe, we're sovereign, we're free, we're abundant, we're unified, we're love, right? We start to step out of or break free from this very dense collective field that we're walking down, this timeline. And depending upon what frequency the collective is at, when we get up to one of these fear paradigms or fear narratives, we have the ability to break off and experience something different. But it depends on the frequency of the entire collective. Now, this doesn't mean that all humans are going to be following this timeline. That's why we're the way showers. We pull the collective into new timelines. I'm going to say that again. Billions of humans are going to stay focused on this. Millions of humans are going to stay focused on this. And what happens is the millions upon millions that are waking up, we are actually pulling the entire human collective into different timelines. We've been doing this. We will continue to do this. We're doing it by choosing and focusing on a different collective timeline. That's what's so miraculous about this. And so what you'll see is, depending upon the frequency of the collective and how we're able to shift it, we may experience an aspect of that fear paradigm, right? We may experience absolutely none of that paradigm and that fear consciousness. We may experience 3/4 of it, right? So there's all these different timelines from this one timeline that will allow us to experience this. What is absolutely not going to happen is we are not walking straight into these. So for instance, the mandated vaccine, we may be able to shorten that and cut it off so that only 1/3 of humanity or the world experiences that, right? Or we may be able to actually shift it completely where nobody experiences the mandated vaccine. Same with this event that's happening where, people are freaked out that they're going to die and that all these horrible things are going to happen. If you hold this higher timeline, we have the ability to shift the entire human collective. So this is how we shift. We shift it by holding the knowingness, holding that knowingness that we've already come through this, that this is only one reality. And if I stay focused on this other timeline that I can't see, that I will be able to pull the collective. And we can also do this by speaking our truth, by protesting, by sharing knowledge, by sharing information. The more knowledge we share, the more humans wake up. The more we hold higher states of consciousness, the more humans wake up. The more we stand up for our rights and our truths and honor them, the more humans wake up, right? And we always allow all humans to have their truths, all humans to have their experience and their frequency. But our role, your role as a way shower, is to ask yourself, if I knew that I got through all of this, how would I respond in my now? The power that allows you is huge. And so you can begin to focus on these other timelines, this timeline. When someone says, oh my God, these horrible things are going to happen, it's true if we stay in this frequency. So you can prepare for famine, you can prepare for no food, no water, no electricity. That's okay. But can you also hold this? Can you also hold this timeline that says, we're going to be fine, everything's going to be fine? Even if we experience a third of it, or a half of it, or 3/4 of it, we're still going to be fine. This is our role. This is what we're here to do. This is why it's so courageous that you're in a human body, is that you have to hold a timeline that you can't see. You have to hold a timeline that you only know in your body as truth. You have to hold a timeline in your body that says, yes, we're good. We've got this. It doesn't matter, these narratives. This makes perfect sense to me, of course. But we are always moving into higher timelines, always. They may be small jumps or they may be large jumps. Like from here to here is a large timeline jump. It's possible, but it's a big, massive jump, right? So typically we do these little jumps, right? And so something that could have been massive becomes less massive and less massive and less massive, because what could have happened out there is way more intense than what did happen. Why? Because we were able to pull the collective into a higher timeline. How? We were holding higher frequencies of light. We were focused on the light. We were courageous. We were speaking truth. And now that we're much more awake, and we're much more clear on what's happening, now we can pull the collective even faster, you guys. Now we can really get to freaking work. I am telling you, these things do not need to happen. And if they happen, we stay focused on this. If these start to pan out, many of them are not going to. But if they do, recognize you are more intelligent, you're more intuitive, you're more resonant than any fear narrative that has been designed to keep you down, that has been designed to keep you silent, that has been designed to tell you not to trust yourself, that has been designed to say don't believe you, don't follow you, follow me, follow me, follow me, I will control you, I will control you. And now we are breaking free. We're breaking free. You're coming into your own, you're coming into your sovereignty, you're coming into your truth, you're coming into your resonance, you're coming into your light, you're coming into you, your soul, your spirit, all of you. You're coming home to you. And when you do that, nobody can tell you what your truth is. Nobody can tell you what's going to happen. You are in charge and you move where you want to go. And let's move the collective into this timeline. Let's move the freaking collective here. Let's move them here. Let's move them here. I don't care what anyone tells me about what may be happening, because my guides always say to me, that's a possibility. What do you want to have happen? Because this is a possibility as well. Get to work. And what do they mean when they say get to work? Hold the higher states of consciousness. Speak your truth. Educate. Remind. Be your light. So again, if you knew that we got through this with 100% certainty, like you know your name, how would you respond now? We are warriors of light. We are miraculous and courageous. I love you so much. Sending you a big hug.